Tell us what you drive right now and what the payment is.
I'm in a Tesla Model Y. I think my payment's $450 a month.
What year is the Tesla?
2024. Just got it last year.
Nice whip. Big Tesla fan. Okay, so you got it last year. Was it used or new?
It was new. I leased it.
Oh, it's a lease at $450 a month. So at the end of this lease, what happens?
Probably going to get a new Tesla.
With payments?
Yeah.
What's the lease agreement?
It's 3 years, so 36 months. Afterwards, there's no option to renew the lease. It's just you give the car back and it goes into their fleet.
Okay, have you done the math on this?
I think I did when I first got the car.
I kind of want to, can we do it live? This will be really fun for me. Okay, 450, 36 months. So you're paying $16,000 to basically rent the car from Tesla.
Yeah.
What kind of car do you drive?
A BMW 24.
Okay, you got a payment on it or is it paid for?
Payment.
What's the payment?
$734.
Ooh,
I know.
that's up there. Do you know like the interest rate? How many years?
And the interest rate is like 3.99. Yeah. I've recently thought about selling it
Oh, really? When'd you get it?
a year ago.
Wow. When did the regrets sit in? We're like, I got to get rid of this thing.
Within a few months. So I'm close to retirement and I'm not ready.
So you're like, okay, I could have used this money to invest and set myself up, but now it's setting me back.
Pay off debt.
What's the other debt?
Credit card. I owe on my house. I think that's it.
Are you underwater on this car at this point?
Yeah.
What kind of car do you drive?
I drive a 2025 Ford Expedition.
That sounds expensive.
It is expensive.
Remember the total cost of this car?
It was $80,000.
Did that feel like a good decision?
It does, because I paid cash for it.
Whoa! Okay.
I paid cash and I
buried the lead. Were they confused at the dealership?
Yes, and he actually was trying to convince me to make payments on it, and he said that it would be $2,100 a month for a car payment, and I said, "Who does that?" And he goes, "My car payment's $2,100," and I looked at my husband and I was like,
You just insulted the sales guy.
Yeah, I did.
And then the finance office is like, you're not going to let her pay cash. She's not leaving here without payment.
They absolutely were mad at
Yeah, they don't make money off of cars. They make money off of financing. Gotcha. And your little tricks, car salesman.
Hello everyone, my name is Meg and I am currently an auto loan funder at a major bank, and I've been in the auto industry for coming up on 7 years, which is crazy to think about, and that's coming up in January. And I've actually technically worked for 3 banks. I only count 2 because one was only kind of like a transitional thing, so I was only there for 3 months. But for the most of my time, I was at one for 4 years and another coming up on 3 years. It's been a minute since I've been looking at contracts, and I've seen a lot of different things. Now, in this video, I kind of feel that for the Tesla, for the lady that has the Tesla, I feel like for a Model Y, I don't think $450 is horrible on a lease. Of course, I'm going to just say this up front. Car payments are relative, and people are going to have different opinions about it. To some people, $450 is going to sound astronomical. To some people, $450 is going to sound like nothing. So everyone's going to fall somewhere within those lines, right? But just from what I'm used to seeing, I don't think on a Model Y, $450 on a lease is bad. Now, of course, I would have to see the contract, see how much she put down, if anything, see if she had a trade, who knows if she could have had negative equity, things like that. It's so much things that go into analyzing whether you have a good deal or you're paying too high, right? But I don't think that that's bad, because if it were a Model 3, I would think that's a tad high, but for a Model Y, I don't think that's bad for a brand new Tesla. For the second lady, I feel that at 3.99, she possibly may have gotten a special rate. I really would like more information on hers as well, because I would want to know what vehicle, what series trim she has, because if she is paying almost $800 on a 3 Series, that would be crazy. But if she's paying that on a 7 Series, I wouldn't say that that's horrible, because the rate isn't bad. Of course, I mean, it depends on what her credit score is. If she has like a 800, we are not really in the days anymore of being able to get like a 2% as just like a standard rate. Like usually if you finance directly with the manufacturer, sometimes you could get a special rate. I kind of feel like that may be what happened, but it depends on what year she bought her car. But I don't think that it's horrible. Now, of a payment in the grand scheme of things, you guys. I wouldn't want to normalize an almost $800 payment, but it's for a luxury vehicle. For the same car, of course, we don't know what it is. Somebody could be paying double that. So it's just really all dependent upon what the terms and what vehicle she got, because like I said, that's a major factor. When you have goals that you want to reach in your future, like buying a house or retiring, my advice is to not make such big purchases like this. Of course, as long as nothing's wrong with the car, you can technically always trade it in, but you never know how much that car depreciated. And if that car depreciated in that time that you had it and you end up being upside down on it, it could create major problems, because then it's going to end up snowballing. Now, for the last lady here that I have on the screen, she bought the 25 Expedition for 80 grand. The fact that she was able to pay all of that in cash, applause to her, because that is not an easy feat these days, and you do not hear of that often. Now, another perspective I want you guys to have is that not everybody is struggling to afford car payments. The fact that she was able to walk in a dealership and buy almost $100K car in cash was just amazing in itself. But dealerships want you to finance. They cannot stand it when you want to pay your car in cash, because they cannot give the incentives that they usually can get from financing in you buying the car outright. They don't get reserves. They don't get additional other fees. They don't really get the kickbacks that they're used to getting off of finance purchases. So that's also something to keep in mind. Like that's why dealerships tack on so much, because they're gonna want to get so much extra money out of the deal as they can, because the saying is true, dealers do not make that much money off of the actual sale of the car. They get it in like the financing, and they get it through like aftermarkets. That's where the money is made.
And let's not take $1,000 car notes into 2026. Please. I'm not trying to be that type of person and tell people what to do, but in order to get able to live the life that you want to live, you must stop trying to live a life that you really can't afford to live right now. I get having fun and living while you can, while you're still here, but you have to understand that the choices you make today will affect your future. I've seen so many people go and get $1,000 car note just because it looks good and it feels good in that moment. And then 3 months down the road, they can't even afford their car note. And you know what happens? It gets repossessed. So then later on in life, in the moments when they really need another car again, they got to sit with the choices and decisions that they made. So now later on in life, once life has taught you that it was never that serious to go out and get $1,000 car note, now you're wishing you could barely even qualify and get the car that's only going to give you a $200 car note. The problem is everybody want to go Lamborghini and Benz, and everybody want to go big. Everybody want to go so big before it's time to go big. Okay to make more money and obtain more money and just live bare minimum for a little while. Not forever. Give yourself, sit in it a little while. Give yourself some time to realize, you know what? I could go 200,000, but I'm going to just go 80,000 over here. I could go Maserati, but we're going to chill out. We're going to chill out in the Honda for a minute.
Preach. Yes, if you are young in your 20s and you're thinking about buying your first car, I don't know how far this is going to reach, because this is my first video on this channel, so one person may see this. But if you have to take anything from this video today, listen to what she says. Crawl before you can walk. Now, on the first part of her video, unfortunately, $1,000 payments are definitely carrying over to 2026. It's only gonna get worse. Who knows, 1,500 might be the normal payment by the end of 2026. So we'll just start there and say that. But what she said following that, like crawling before you walk, it's so true. Like if you're in your 20s, I know social media, it's a part of our daily lives, and you see like these influencers and like these young celebrities getting BMWs, Mercedes, like Lamborghinis and stuff, like she said. That is not realistic. When you are buying your first car, be realistic. If I had to tell anybody some advice, and when they're buying their first car, get a used car. I know it's not going to be flashy. It's not going to be the best. You're going to want like what you want, but that's why you eventually will work towards that and just get to that point in some time in your life. Now, I know tomorrow is never promised, but you do not want to have the stress of having $1,000 car payment, you guys, especially for your first one. I don't care if you're coming right out of college and you're making six figures already. No, you got to know how to navigate like paying bills, paying rent. And you don't want that stress of paying that high of a car payment. $1,000, I mean, it's probably not very many people, but that could be some people's rent. Do you really want to pay that in a car that you might be in for an hour a day in the very most? Just start small and then you build. I'm telling you guys, like, and especially if you're working on your credit, definitely you do not want to get into this because all of your payments for the first few years are going to be going towards interest. And you do not want that. Start small. Just get something that's going to get you to point A to point B, like the famous saying goes. Do not worry about being flashy. It does not matter. You will get to the point where you can get the car that you want after you work hard, get established in your career, or if you want to start a business, what have you. Just be mindful of your future because you do not want to destroy your future trying to impress other people. And then you're going to get stuck in the end trying to rebuild after making such a high payment and such a major decision to finance a car that would be that expensive. But definitely listen to her. We could all take that advice in some kind of aspect in our lives, but listen to her, you guys, because she is right.
I just made a $10,000 payment towards my husband's car loan, and I just want to talk about how that felt. I thought that I was going to feel disappointed and that I was going to feel sad that we literally spent our savings in this car. It's like a huge weight was off my shoulders when I did that. And that's the effect that you get when you pay off your debt. Debt that you probably are thinking it doesn't have a real effect on your day-to-day life. Once you pay it off, the freedom that it feels is amazing. And we still have a long way to go. We still need to pay more than $15,000, but just by making that $10,000 payment, I feel so relieved. That's the feeling. It's like relieved that that's $10,000 less that I owe.
Wow, $10,000 just to put towards your loan. That is amazing. Now, hopefully she didn't use a big chunk of her family's savings on that because, I mean, I wouldn't advise to doing that because you just never know. You always want to have that safety net just in case anything else in your life happens. But assuming they didn't use the bulk of their savings for it, I always advise making extra principal payments towards your loan. That is a surefire way to cut through interest. Now, just because your term is like, what, 60, 72, 84, those are the most common ones. Very few people do 36 and 48, but it does happen. I don't want to act like it doesn't happen. But the more you pay towards your principal and the early you do it, the more you can cut down on that interest. And the earlier you can pay off your car, the more you'll save in interest. I always advise it doesn't have to be anything major like $10,000. If you could put an extra $50 or $100 towards your payment every once in a while or every month, that goes a long way. It might not show up in the beginning because you're going to pay the majority of that interest in the beginning. So it's going to seem like you're not even paying down your balance at all, depending on your APR and like your interest rate and everything. Because the lower, of course, your interest rate, the less amount of interest you're going to have to pay on top of the amount that you financed. But this must feel amazing. Now, she said she had 15,000 left. I mean, that's still a ways to go, but not horrible. I would like to know how much she had to pay in the beginning, but we don't have those details. But yeah, 10,000 on the payment is amazing. Okay, y'all, thank you so much for watching this video. That's all I have for y'all today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel because my main objective is to educate people a little bit more about car loans, because as the old saying goes, you don't get taught this stuff in school. And how are you supposed to find out major things about your life if you're not taught about it in your school years? So that's why I want to put out these videos, just for people to gain a little bit of insight. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna see y'all later. Bye.